Hello everybody, it's Julia with Senior Susie Stamps, and I'm glad you're here with me today. I have a fun little all-occasion card, thinking of you, birthday, get well. You can use it for any of those, that would be great. And I'm going to start with some half-inch white paper strips. And these are 3 3/4 inches long. I'm going to take my little punch and punch some dog ears on these little white strips. There we go. And let me finish these and I'll come right back. Pickets punched, and there you can see them. And as I said, they're 3 3/4 inches, and these are some strips that are 3/8 of an inch wide. Now I also have some other things today. These are some fussy cut flowers that we showed you, I don't know, a couple of weeks ago, I guess, that I cut out of the Culpepper's Herbal book. And I have some butterflies, a couple of each of the style of butterfly. And then I also have a die-cut bird on a branch image that I thought I might use and I might not. I'm not sure about that. So let's get started building this card. So before we do anything else with those, I'm going to put them through this wood grain embossing folder just for a little extra texture on them. And I'm going to avoid this great big knot as best I can. So I'm going to run them through, and I think I will spritz them with just a tiny little bit of water, since these are pretty thin little pieces here. It doesn't look like I'm going to be able to get them all on there. Hang on. Maybe I can. Come on, snuggle up in there. There we go. So let me spritz these with just a tiny bit of water to loosen those fibers up just a bit and soften them. And then I'm going to close this down, run it through my embossing machine, and I'll be right back. And here we go. Aren't those cute? Oh, I think they are. Okay. So I think what I'll do is to take just a little bit of ink and drag over those, because, you know, I like to drag ink. It's just crazy. But I think it'll add just a little bit of texture to this. And since they're white scraps, this is Sahara sand. Since they're white scraps, if they don't work out for me, then I'll just pitch them and we'll do it again. You'll see this start of this one more time. Well, I think that's going to look all right. I reserve the right to change my mind. This is a little harder to do, but I think it's going to be a kind of a nice look on these little fence boards. There we go. This is going to look a little like a fence that needs to be painted, isn't it? When I was a kid, we had a white picket fence outside the kitchen, and my mother had some perennial flowers in there. They were really pretty, but that little fence always needed to be painted, in my estimation. So I think we'll leave this. Maybe we should do a little ink drag on that so it doesn't stand out like a sore thumb. There, that will work just fine for those little cross pieces. Now, I'm going to lay these down on top of the cross pieces. I'm going to use my grid here for this. And let me see. I think I'm going to try to put some tape runner on to my grid mat here. And we'll just see if that works or not. I think it will. Just to kind of hold these in place. So let's see. I'm going to put one of them down low and then one of them up. Maybe about here. I think that'll work fine. And this tape runner will rub right off of my mat when I'm finished with it. But I want to try to space these so that they'll form an A2 size layer for my card. I'm going to go ahead and put a little bit of glue on these two spots, and we'll just start. And I think we're going to use this line right here to line them up with. And then I'm going to try to do about 1/4 of an inch between these pickets. And then we'll end up with a card image for the front. Whoops, that one popped right off, didn't it? We'll end up with a card image for the front that is actually an A2 size layer. Maybe I need to redo my glue. We'll give it that a second and then put some more down. I've got some butterflies over here that I thought I would colorize with alcohol markers when we get to that point. This is shaping up pretty good, isn't it? What do you think? Let me know. I'm going to run this landscape on a portrait top fold card, so it'll be long. I hope I have enough here. Well, we'll just see. Hang on. 3 3/4 by 5 is what this should be. Well, these pickets just seem to have a little mind of their own. I don't want to go in that spot. Well, you're going to go in that spot. Okay, now let's see what we got. Yep, I like that. And now I'm going to just check them and make sure that we've got the glue down well. And I'm going to put some foam on the back of these. Let me see, I think I have some strips right here that will work. And just raise these up so that it sets off the card front just a little bit. And there we go. Yippee skippy. All right, now I'm going to bring my little card in here. Yes, I like that. Okay, now, so from a few little white scraps, we've got a nice little picket fence card, and I'm going to rub this tape runner off of here because it's snatching at my card. There we go. But what I want to do with this is put some of these flowers in the background behind the fence, if they'll show up, and if they don't, then we're just going to, and they don't seem to show up very well. So what we're going to do then is just build this completely on the front side of the card. And you can see here how nice these little fussy cut flowers are going to be. Here we go. I'm going to go ahead and glue this down, since we don't need to put anything underneath of it. And I'm wondering if we should do just a little bit of ink blending on this. Well, I think we will. Hang on a minute. I'm going to pull my Tempting Turquoise for that because it's a nice bright sky color. And I'm going to get a really big blending brush because I want just a really soft little bit of blending on that. I'll reach in here and grab a piece of scratch paper. I'll slip it in this way and just put a little bit of background color in here. I don't really want a whole lot. And I'm going to start by moving my brush when I'm sitting down so that I don't get any really big globs on the edge. And that's all I'm going to do. I think it'll be fine. Let's look and see. I think that's fine, don't you? Okay, so I want to leave a little bit of distance here, and I'm just putting a tiny little bit of pressure on this cross member here that has the foam tape till I figure out that that's where I want it, and then I'll go ahead and press it down. Okay. And now we'll decide which of these flowers we like. That one is surely pretty, isn't it? And maybe this one in the background, since it's too much leaf, don't you think? I do. I want to take some of this leaf material off of here. That's the thing about fussy cutting. You can do pretty much whatever you want to make it your own. So there's that one. And here's this one There we go. And maybe the yellow one, do you think? Yes, I like that. All right. So now I need a thinking of you sentiment, and I'm thinking one of the ones. Hang on. I got something in here in my drawer. Let's see. What do we have? How about just a simple hello there? I like that. And I think it'll be very nice right down here across these little pickets. We'll cross over these two. These three right here. That will hold in there fine. And I think I will glue this one down flat. I'm going to use my Books by Hand PVA glue today. You know that's my go-to glue. Get my little tweezers. And I'm going to set them at a little bit of an angle because, you know, plants rarely grow straight. Sometimes you just kind of wish they would, but rarely do they accommodate you. And then I think we'll do maybe one here. Maybe I should have angled that one the other way. Let's try it this way and see. I like that. And then I think I'll raise this one up on a little bit of foam. I'll hold that for just half a second. And I'm going to use up these little tiny foam squares. Not use them up, but use some of them because they're the perfect size for doing this. This card has some dimension now with putting the foam dots underneath this flower. So it might be something that you'll want to consider hand canceling if you send it through the mail. Of course, if you hand deliver it, then that doesn't matter. Hand canceling in the United States adds, I don't know, 35, 45 cents, something like that. But you stand a much better chance of your card arriving the way you send it than if you let it go through the mechanical system. That was a bit tedious. So this one, I think I'm going to just come right over here and stand it up. There we go. And now I'm going to look at colorizing some butterflies. Let me get some alcohol markers in yellow, and I'm going to use the chisel point for this. And now all I'm going to do is wait for my alcohol to dry. And I'm going to glue the centers together on these so that I can pry the wings apart a little bit. There we go. And just set them aside and let them dry. They don't have to be stacked perfectly because you are going to pull the wings apart. There we go. Some of these have a little antennae, like this little green one, and some of them don't. They came from a different bunch of butterflies that I did. But I have a nice supply of little tiny white butterflies now. Okay, let me get a black pen. I'm going to use black because the hello there is in black. And this is a Micron 01, Pigma Micron 01. And it gives a really nice little fine point. So you can do a little outline, for example, if you wanted to. And maybe just kind of leave it at that. Maybe you want to draw a little body in. It doesn't have to be much at all. Maybe you want to put some little dots on it. There we go. There's one and done. And I'm going to prise these little wings apart. She said. There we go. And here. Come on, little guy. There we are. And then I'm going to glue on the back of them. And I'm going to plant my little butterfly in my scene here. There it is. I'm going to do my little green one. And on this one, I think I'm going to put a little dot of white in there. And to do that, I'm going to use my Jelly Roll 10 white pen because it leaves a more intense little drop of color. I think we'll do the little head as well. And because this one has the antennae, I believe I'll draw those in also. There we go. I'm going to let that one dry so I don't smudge that white pen, and come back and do just a little bit here. And here we are. Our last little butterfly. Coming right up here in the very middle of things. And I believe on the inside, I'll just glue this little flower right here and make use of it that way. And pull the outside to the inside of my card. Right like that. And there we go. And now all I have to do is write a little note on the inside, put my stamp on the back, put it in the mail, and mail it. Let me know what you think, and I'll talk to you again next week. Bye, everybody.